The thunder of artillery shattered the dawn over the Moselle River. March 1, 1945, as General George S. Patton's Third Army surged into the ancient Roman city of Trier, like a steel avalanche. But amid the chaos, a single radio transmission crackled through the ether, one that would unravel the threads of loyalty, ambition, and a secret that could have altered the war's endgame forever. If you're hooked on this untold tale from the heart of World War II, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what comes next will keep you glued to your screen until the very last word. Captain Elias Harlan gripped the steering wheel of his Jeep, knuckles white against the cold metal, as he raced through the rubble-strewn streets of Trier. The city, once a jewel of the Roman Empire, now lay in smoking ruins under the relentless advance of American forces. Ellie's heart pounded, not just from the adrenaline of battle, but from the weight of the envelope tucked inside his olive drab jacket, sealed with the insignia of General Omar Bradley himself. It contained orders that no one, not even Patton, knew about yet. Eli was no ordinary officer. Born in the dusty plains of Kansas, he'd risen through the ranks on sheer grit, his sharp mind spotting patterns in enemy movements that others missed. But this mission, it felt personal. Bradley had pulled him aside in a dimly lit command tent near the Saar River just days before, his voice low and urgent. "Harlan, you're the only one I trust with this. Get it to Patton in Trier, but only after he's taken the city. And whatever you do, don't let anyone else see it." The Jeep skidded around a corner, dodging a crater from a German 88mm shell. Gunfire echoed in the distance, Patton's tanks clashing with the last pockets of Wehrmacht resistance. Ellie's mind flashed back to his childhood, watching his father, a great war veteran, stare blankly at the horizon, haunted by memories. "War chews you up, son," he'd said, "but sometimes it's the secrets that spit you out." Eli had joined up to prove him wrong, to be the hero America needed. Now, as the spires of Trier's cathedral loomed ahead, he wondered if he was just another pawn in a general's game. Patton himself was a whirlwind at the forward command post, his ivory-handled pistol gleaming as he barked orders into a field phone. "Push them back to the Rhine. I want that bridge intact." His voice boomed like cannon fire, energizing the exhausted G's around him. When Eli pulled up, saluting sharply, Patton's piercing eyes locked onto him. "Captain Harlan, Bradley's boy. What brings you to my circus, sir?" "General Bradley sends his regards and this." Eli handed over the envelope, his hand steady despite the knot in his gut. Patton's face tightened as he tore it open. The paper crinkled in the tense silence. His expression shifted from triumph to fury in an instant. "Return? He wants me to return Trier after we've bled for it." He crumpled the orders, tossing them into the mud. "Tell Bradley he can shove this up his stars. We're pressing on." Ellie's stomach dropped. Return the city? That didn't make sense. Trier was a key gateway to the Rhine, a strategic prize. Why would Bradley order a withdrawal now, with victory in their grasp? But before he could question it, a mortar round whistled overhead, exploding nearby and showering them with debris. "Incoming!" Someone yelled. Eli dove for cover, his mind racing. This wasn't just about territory. There was something buried in Trier, something Bradley wanted hidden, and Patton's defiance had just ignited a fuse. As the dust settled, Eli scrambled to his feet, grabbing the discarded orders. A quick glance revealed more than retreat coordinates, coded references to Project Eclipse, a term he'd overheard in whispers among intelligence officers. Eclipse, it sounded like Black Ops, something beyond the front lines. Patton was already storming off, rallying his men for a deeper push. "Harlan, you're with me now. Bradley's lost his nerve. I'll show him how we win wars." Eli hesitated, loyalty tearing at him. Bradley had been his mentor, the steady hand guiding his career. But Patton's fire was infectious, promising glory. Little did he know, this choice would drag him into a web of espionage, betrayal, and a discovery that could shatter the Allied command. The advance resumed with ferocious speed. Patton's armored columns roared through Trier's gates, Shermans blasting at hidden snipers in the medieval towers. Eli rode shotgun in Patton's command vehicle, the general's voice a constant barrage of motivation. "Boys, this city's older than Rome's fall. Now it's ours. No retreating, no mercy." But as they secured the Porte Nigra, the Black Gate standing, defiant against time, Eli spotted something odd. A group of civilians, not fleeing, but converging on a bombed-out basilica. One man, tall and gaunt with a professor's spectacles, glanced back nervously before slipping inside. Ellie's instincts flared. "General, permission to investigate?" Patton waved him off. "Go, Captain." But make it quick, we've got Nazis to chase. Eli moved stealthily, carbine at the ready, weaving through the shadows. The basilica's interior was a cavern of echoes, sunlight piercing through shattered stained glass. He heard voices, German, hushed and urgent, creeping closer. He peered around a pillar. The professor type was arguing with two others, one in a tattered SS uniform, the other a woman with fierce eyes and a concealed pistol. Die Artefakt müssen, zerstört werden. The professor whispered. Die Amerikaner dürfen sie nicht finden, artifacts. Ellie's German was rusty, but he caught enough. Destroy them before the Americans find them. What artifacts? His foot scraped a pebble, and the group whirled. The woman drew her weapon, first a Luger, aimed straight at his chest. Freeze, Eli barked, his carbine up, but she fired, the shot grazing his shoulder. Pain exploded, but he returned fire, dropping the SS man. The professor bolted, clutching a satchel, while the woman charged him, tackling him to the ground. They grappled in the dust, her strength surprising. You fool, she hissed in accented English. You have no idea what you're unleashing. Eli overpowered her, pinning her arms. Who are you? What's in that satchel? Her name was Lena Voss. She spat out between breaths, a German archaeologist turned resistance fighter. The artifacts, relics from Trier's Roman past. But not just any relics. They were tied to a Nazi occult program, codenamed Eclipse, aimed at harnessing ancient energies for a wonder weapon. Hitler's desperation had revived old myths, believing Trier held a key to a device that could disrupt allied electronics on a massive scale. An electromagnetic pulse precursor, hidden in catacombs beneath the city. Ellie's mind reeled. This was no trope of hidden gold or lost art. It was a blend of history and mad science. A fresh nightmare where ancient curses met modern warfare. Bradley knew. That's why the retreat order, to bury Eclipse before it fell into wrong hands. Or worse, Patton's ambitious grasp. But Lena's eyes pleaded. The SS planted it to sabotage your advance. If triggered, it wipes out your tank's radios, blinds your air support. Help me destroy it, or your general's glory turns to ash. A twist hit Eli like a gut punch. Lena wasn't just resistance. She was Bradley's asset. Inserted months ago. The orders in the envelope? A ruse to test Patton's obedience. But now, with the city taken, the real mission activated. Eli had to choose. Follow Bradley's shadow game or side with Patton's charge. Gunfire erupted outside. German counterattack. Eli released Lena, grabbing her arm. Show me the catacombs. We end this now. They descended into the underworld, torchlight flickering on walls etched with Roman inscriptions. The air grew thick, charged with an unnatural hum. Deeper in, they found the device, a jury-rigged monstrosity of coils, crystals from ancient altars, and Nazi wiring. The professor was there, frantic, arming it for the Reich. He screamed, flipping switches. Eli lunged, but the man triggered. A fail-safe. Sparks flew, the hum building to a scream. Lena shouted, the core, shoot the crystal. Eli fired, shattering the centerpiece. The device convulsed, then died in a shower of sparks. But the explosion rocked the tunnels, collapsing sections. They barely escaped, emerging into daylight as Patton's forces mopped up the attackers. Patton slapped Eli on the back. Good work, Captain. Whatever you found down there, it's ours now. But Eli knew the truth. Bradley's voice crackled over the radio later that night. Harlan, report. Did Patton comply? No, sir. He refused the return order. A pause. Then phase 2 begins. Eclipse isn't destroyed, it's activated in you. What? Eli felt a chill. The envelope had more a hidden microfilm, with instructions for Eli to become a double agent, feeding Patton false intel to curb his recklessness, all while protecting the real Eclipse tech, which Bradley planned to use against the Soviets post-war. The artifacts weren't Nazi mad science. They were a cover for American black ops, reverse-engineered from captured German tech. The twist deepened. Ellie's father hadn't been haunted by the Great War alone. He'd been part of a secret unit experimenting with similar devices, and Bradley knew Ellie's lineage, choosing him for that reason. Emotional depth surged. Eli wasn't just a soldier. He was a legacy, burdened by generational shadows. Tension escalated as Patton pushed toward the Rhine, oblivious. Eli, now torn between mentors, slipped Lena a message. Help me expose this. But was she truly resistance, or Bradley's plant? Days blurred into a frenzy. March 7, 1945. The Remagen Bridge miracle. Patton's rival, Hodges, captured it intact. Patton fumed, driving his men harder. Eli, riding the wave, uncovered more Bradley's Project Eclipse aimed to deploy the pulse weapon not against Germans, but to sabotage Russian advances in the East, ensuring American dominance in Europe. A strong character moment came that night. In a requisitioned farmhouse, Patton, uncharacteristically vulnerable, shared whiskey with Eli. War's a beast, Harlan. Bradley thinks he can tame it with caution. Me, I ride it. Eli saw the man behind the myth lonely, driven by fear of irrelevance. What if the beast turns on us, sir? Patton laughed. Then we fight harder. But Ellie's doubt grew. Lena met him in secret, revealing documents. Bradley had authorized human tests on pose for Eclipse, echoing Nazi atrocities. Horror gripped Eli, his hero. A monster? Escalating. A German ambush hit their convoy. Eli saved Patton, taking a bullet to the leg. But in the chaos, Lena vanished with Eclipse blueprints. Twist. She was no ally, she was Soviet intelligence, playing both sides. Eli confronted Bradley via encrypted line. Why me? Why this? Because your father failed in 18. You won't. Rage boiled. Eli defected inwardly, vowing to destroy Eclipse. Himself at the pace quickened toward the Rhine crossing. Patton's forces amassed. But Eli sabotaged a key radio, delaying orders. Patton suspected betrayal. Harlan, if you're the snake, before confrontation. Allied bombers lit the sky. Eli fled into the night. Lena's trail leading to a hidden bunker. Inside, she waited, blueprints in hand. Join me, Eli, and the generals. Games, but as he reached for them, Bradley's voice echoed from a hidden speaker. The bunker was a trap. You were always the bait. Harlan. Gunfire erupted. Eli fought through commandos, grabbing the blueprints, setting charges. Explosion roared, burying Eclipse, wounded. He staggered back to Patton. Sir, Bradley's playing God. We have to stop him. Patton's eyes widened. Then let's take the war to him. The narrative hurtled forward. A rogue alliance formed. Patton, Eli, and a band of loyalists challenging Bradley's authority. Tension peaked at a clandestine meeting in Koblenz. March 22, 1945. Bradley arrived, flanked by MPs. Patton, stand down. Return to Trier. Destroy the evidence. Patton sneered. What you said when I took Trier. Return. No, Omar. We expose you. Twist. Bradley revealed the ultimate secret. Eclipse wasn't for Soviets. It was to prevent a coup. Within Allied ranks, intelligence showed Patton plotting to race to Berlin, defying Eisenhower, potentially sparking war with Russia prematurely. Emotional climax. Eli, facing both generals, realized the war's true horror, not battles, but the ambitions devouring men. We're all monsters, he whispered. In a blaze of action, Eli triggered a diversion, allowing Patton to escape with proof. But Bradley shot him, grazing his side. You were like a son. Harlan, Ellie's retort. Sons bury fathers. The chase ensued. Across the Rhine, boats under fire, as Patton's forces defected en masse. But reality crashed. This wasn't victory, it was mutiny. By April, as Allies closed on Berlin, Eli lay in a field hospital, the war winding down. Patton visited, subdued. We won, kid, but at what cost? Eli handed him the final blueprint fragment. Burn it, let history forget. Patton nodded, but his eyes hinted otherwise. The story crescendoed to VE Day, May 8, 1945. Eli, scarred but alive, watched celebrations in Paris. Lena reappeared, not as foe, but lover. We survived the Eclipse. Twist. She planted the seed. Eclipse lived on in American labs, birthing the Cold War's shadows. Ellie's final act, a letter to his unborn child, vowing peace. But the thought-provoking note lingered. In the rush to victory, did America's heroes forge chains for the future, turning Eclipse into eternal night?